Hello, everyone. Good. Good morning. Um, I'm kind of far. Yeah, I didn't want the camera all up on me like I usually do. So, hmm, I guess I woke up with something that was like kind of messing with me. That's not the word. Actually, yeah, that's not the word. I woke up compassionate and empathetic on a I don't want to say topic because it's not a topic. I guess it's a blockage. So I woke up empathetic and compassionate on a blockage that I've had for a long time. So I think a lot of us, when you continuously give from an empty cup, you eventually you do get angry, and I think that if you don't, you can. The potential is there for you to become resentful, bitter, angry, And I think that deep down inside, you're really kind of angry with yourself. By the way, ignore that bag. uh, that is some clothes that need to be washed, so I took them out and in the bag so that I could wash them, basically. Because if I leave them in the bag, I'm gonna forget about it. So anyway, now let's see what people explain shit in the videos. All right. Anyway, that's one of the things that kind of annoy me. Like, I don't want to know all about your little things here and there, but I get why people do it now because I'm doing it. Anyway, yeah. So I realized. I don't know. It's just a feeling that was crazy. It was just a feeling. It just felt like the anger. Wow. Yeah, I feel like because a part of me wants to cry. The anger and the festivity, the pain, the hurt that I felt was not there. Instead, it was more like, wow, I understand. And it's not a specific person. It's just experiences or things that have happened in life or, you know, people in general. I just woke up feeling like I understand. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not taking anything away from those people when it comes to people, at least, I'm not taking anything away from them for what they said or done or how I was treated. But for whatever reason this morning, I had a way better understanding. More like an inner standing, an overstanding of why people act like that. Why that person might have did that, or why this person might have did that, or why, or the situation or whatever. So for a lot of, not every person in my life, but I've had people where I guess I didn't look, when you're hurt, you're not looking at, you're not really looking at the why, You're looking at a why, but more on a 3D level, I guess. A lot of times we don't look at the background situation. Like if somebody does something to someone and we're watching a movie, say the character in a movie, it's much easier to look at that character and see what, let's just say, Jim did to Susan, right? We saw what Jim did to Susan, but we also can see why Jim did what he did to Susan. And we're not saying, oh, that was right. Jim was in his right. Well, leave him alone. Because, no, we're not saying that, but we're like, okay, I see why I can see how Jim got there. I'm not saying that it's okay what he did to her, but Jim hasn't healed from what from losing his wife and child, and uh, his heart is blocked, is closed off. So to get to the heart of the matter, what I woke up with uh, this morning was not just about people and experiences that happened to me, but how I did things or carried on, due to certain things. Okay, now this is not me coming after I feel like I gotta sneeze. Give me a second. Whew. Yeah, that sneeze don't want to come out, but that's, you know what I mean. This is for all my spiritual people. You see what's happening. All right, again, this is not an attack, or this is not about anybody specifically, but this is me being honest and truthful. A lot of times we look at it and we say, oh, like for instance, they're saying black people are like crabs in a barrel. Unfortunately, there are a lot of us that are like crabs in a barrel. Not all of us, but because I'm not that way. But I have experienced the crab in a barrel thing. But unfortunately, a lot of times our families are our biggest enemies. And I like the worst thing I think that we're taught is that, oh, it's your family. Blood is thicker than water. And it's like, listen, I get it. It is your family. No. I get it. It is your relatives. But it's not your family. And we're taught that because you share the same DNA as the other person, that is your family. That is not your family. That's not even a definition. The real definition. If you go and look at the definition, it can say family because that's what we like to call it. But really, truly, family is about loyalty, which is why, if you notice, when we watch Fast and the Furious, that's all Dom talks about. And we laugh at him, and yeah, he sounds stupid. Oh, it's the joke. Family is everything. But it's true though. Your family is your soul tribe. Your family is those that's going to be loyal to you. Your family is those that's going to allow you to have your emotions. They're not going to call you weak or make you feel bad because you have emotions. Your family is the ones that you can go to and be transparent, and it's okay. You can be open, authentic. Your family wants the best for you. Your family's not sitting there saying, okay, well, my life was hard, so because my life was hard, I don't want to see your life better than mine. Now, relatives, people you share the DNA with, oh yeah. You can have jealous siblings, you can have a jealous mama, you can have a jealous father. And then what that does is when you have that dynamic, you will now go out in search of people just like those that's in your family, because that is now normal. That makes sense to you. That's what you know. And anything outside of that dynamic doesn't make sense. So now what you would do is you would sabotage connections that don't look like that. I know, because I've done it. So I'm really I'm not coming at nobody. Like I said, I will say this: if the shoe fits, it's a good thing, because it's allowing you to see yourself, see your situation, and now you can work on it, which is what the universe wants. Obviously, the universe wanted you to see this video, so you can work on that. And you can heal, and you can be in a better position. But I'm not coming at anyone specifically, because I myself have had really, I had some I can think of at least, I'm going to say, just work with two at least. I had two great, really good friends, amazing people who really, truly cared about me. But I sabotaged that connection because the person that, the people I had around me, the persons I had around me, they didn't like those people. But I didn't recognize at the time that the reason they didn't like those people, because those people, those two wonderful females, like really cared about me. They didn't ask of anything from me. They didn't want anything from me. They just wanted to be my friend. They really, truly just cared about me. And every time I would run back to the type of people that always needed something from me energetically, whether it was my time, my time, my energy, my wisdom, whatever the case. Needed me to run errands, whatever the case. These people never asked, they would always let me come back, and they never asked anything up from me. Even though it hurt them to see me continuously put myself in those situations over and over and over again, they still never asked anything of me. And I lost that friendship. I lost those two females. I lost those two women who really did care about me. Because I needed the validation from those that kept asking for shit. And no matter how much I gave to them, all those other people just kept telling me it wasn't enough. When these people over here, these two females, they never told me I wasn't enough. They literally was just happy to see me. So you can have that dynamic. I grew up in that dynamic where no matter how much I gave, and I kept begging and begging, and it was like, no, not really. Go do some more and come back. And unfortunately, the child and the teenager in me got lost, So I ended up creating these bonds with those type of people who were just like that. So to give you a little info, first off, let me start by saying I'm blessed because, and at this point I have learned to forgive. But in order for y'all to understand that I'm not just speaking to speak, me and my mom didn't have a good relationship for years. I didn't even really have a relationship with my mom until I got pregnant with my second son. Now, saying that, but going back, reiterating what I said a minute ago, I'm definitely blessed. Because I got to do two things that a lot of people, like I said, I don't know, some people didn't get to do, My mom, one, I got to express myself, tell my mother exactly how I felt about her, which is what I needed. It wasn't a bad thing. I needed to say it. And she listened. I think that happened twice in all the times that, other times where I tried to talk to my mother and she shut me down. And those are the two times I found the strength to get it all out, say whatever I needed to say, and that means whatever I needed to say. And she listened. And then the last thing was that my mom, when I got pregnant with my son, my mom did a whole my second son rather, she just flipped. She just did a whole complete change. And she was there for my son and my oldest son. Her and my oldest son were like best friends. My mother ended up, my son was, and her, and my brother and me both was having kids, right, like days behind each other. So I gave birth on Sunday. his kids was born the Wednesday before. And the hospitals that my mother had to go to, they weren't easy hospitals to go to for a woman who had trouble breathing, had an oxygen tank. She was sick. She made her way to the hospital. She could have just said, okay, I went to the hospital on Wednesday to see both my twins, my grandkids. I'm not going. But she made her way to that hospital to see my mother was the first person to show up to the hospital to see her grandson. And from that day, she stuck to my son. It was like peanut butter and jelly. And she could be mad at me, but she would call and say, I don't want to see you, but bring my grandson. My mother couldn't say, I'm sorry. She struggled to say, I apologize. But the difference in my mother then compared to when I was a child and when I was a teenager or even a young adult was that my mother actually would pick up the phone and say that. And I knew what that meant. I'm not saying I'm sorry, but bring my grandson over. And when I got there, she didn't treat me shitty. She wasn't mean to me. She wasn't nasty. She laughed, joked, she'd hug me, she talked to me. She was just different. I had to learn to accept that my mother was not the same person. But prior to that, my mother was the person that was trying to hold me back. Because in her life was hard. And since she didn't get the help that she needed to overcome all her trauma, all she saw when she looked at me was a threat. All she saw when she looked at me was competition. All she saw when she looked at me was my father. All she saw when she looked at me was a lighter skinned child. All she saw when she looked at me was all these things that's going to happen for you that did not happen for me. And that started the trend. Not trend. Trend is not the word. That started the pattern with me picking people like that. And it wasn't just my mother. I went through it with my sister as well. What happens, unfortunately, some people don't see what they're doing, or they won't hold themselves accountable. They don't want to hear it. So the change never ever comes. And you have to separate yourself from them people, because at the end of the day, you're never going to be able to move forward. You're never going to be able to have a healthy relationship with anyone, because those people are going to manipulate you into sticking around and staying. If you say, you know what, I want to move out of, I live in Texas, I want to move out of Texas, and I want to move to Louisiana because there's a better paying job. And now you got, let's just say, your mother. And she's like, oh, why are you going to do that? Oh, you're going to fail. That's or instill fear in you. Why would you do that? Oh my gosh, are you sure? I don't think that's a great idea. But what about, that's not a person that is loving you. That is a person that is trying to hold you back. They're just doing it in a manipulative way. So you don't see that. You just take it as oh, they love me so much. No. The one thing I struggle to understand is that your parents are people too. So just because they come into this world as your parent does not mean they are capable of love. They may not be capable of loving you at that moment or at that time. My mother loved me, but she wasn't capable of showing me that or even giving me that. Literally from the time I was a baby, my mother would tell me the story of how the doctors brought me to her, and she didn't want it. She did not want me. They mixed the babies up. They gave my mother the little Mexican baby, and gave the Mexican lady, gave me to the Mexican lady. And my mother looked at them and tried to keep, now you know that's mental health. She tried to keep the Mexican lady's baby. And the Mexican lady was like, no, oh, this is not my baby. This is not my baby. And they gave him back. My mother would tell her story and laugh about it like it was funny. And when you hear something like that all the time, it's normalized. It's It's not a big deal. It wasn't until I became a little deeper in my spiritual journey, more of learning myself, finding myself, healing, that I realized that shit is hurtful. That shit hurt. And one day I finally let myself cry about it. Because I realized, oh my God, I carried my children for fucking no. I've loved my children before they got here. And then when I knew I was pregnant with them, I fell completely in love with them. So I don't know what it feels like to not for that life to come out of you, and you can't. There's nothing there. And then it told me, well, obviously, where's my worth? I don't have no worth because my mother can't give me that. Then I have no worth. But that's not true. I realize now, going back to what we're talking about, my mother went through a lot of things. My father, same way, went through a lot of things. My father did not want me to learn anything, so he intentionally didn't teach me shit. He intentionally did not, help me with homework or talk to me about life. Or his thing was, I was born on this earth to service. That is it. You're of service. And service meant whoever needed to vent and get out their anger and rage, they could yell at me, scream at me, call me all kinds of names. And that's where my father was at. But where I'm at now is I realize my father, not to say what he did was okay, but I get that all the shit that he went through. I already knew that my father was berated by his mother. I don't know if it was when he was a kid, a teenager, a young adult, but I do know that he was berated by his mother, belittled by his mother. So my father wasn't wrapped too tight in the head when, ever. Not when he was ever. So basically I realized my parents couldn't give me love. So when they were doing things to hold me back in life, if the universe didn't save me and take me away from them, in many instances, then I probably wouldn't be here today. But the universe did, So I'm saying that it's not about what somebody tells you. It's what people show you. If you have to abandon yourself because you're afraid that your mother won't love you, there's a problem. If you can't say, this is what I would like to do with my life, because you're afraid that your father won't accept it, and he's going to pull his emotions and his energy back from you, there's a problem, because that's not love. If you can't be exactly who you are with the people that's in your life and around you, that's not love. If people make you feel weak because you want to love, you have the capacity to love, those people don't love you. What you gotta realize is all those people that you're dealing with, they are projecting all their issues onto you. So now you are stuck in life and you can't move. So what you gotta do, you gotta go do the healing work. You may not want to. I understand that. There comes times I can't even think like how many days that there's something I'm like, oh my God. And sometimes I can get to the point where my son, he'll say something and I'm like, oh, and I just want to like tell him to shut up. Just shut the fuck up. But my son means well, and when he's telling me this, deep down inside, I'm mad and I'm angry and I'm telling him to shut the fuck up. Or at least in my mind I don't tell him that actually verbally. But it's because I know he's right. I know he's right, and I know that what he's telling me I have to do right now seems like the most difficult thing to do. And the hardest thing to do is usually the right thing to do. So I guess I wanted to put this out there because I know that I'm not the only one who allowed, and I say allowed, unintentionally, but yeah, I allowed others to, I'm going to say, help me sabotage myself. And part of that is that you want acceptance. You want validation from the other people. You want to feel that you have worth. And if those people don't accept you, you don't feel like you have worth. And one of the biggest things that I did that I realized I had to stop doing is I was looking for a leader. I was looking for someone to lead me in my own life. And it sucks. But the only reason I realized now the only reason I was doing that was because there's imagine, like I tell everybody, I use this all the time, but it makes sense. Imagine your body is the Marriott Hotel, okay? It's the Marriott. I don't know, I'm just coming up with something. And you have all these guests in there. And all these guests all these guests have different wants and needs. So you have to check in, obviously, like my son would say, you have to check in with all the different guests, right? And some guests, you don't don't have to check in on them because they'll just come to you. They'll come to the front desk, or they'll tell you what they need or what they want, and whatever the case. Well, this right here, this body, this shell, okay, has a bunch of different guests that have needs and wants and fears and desires. So when you don't listen to them, everything is out of whack. And it makes you more acceptable to people who are going to use that against you. Because they're going to say, ooh, so she wants a leader. She obviously doesn't know how to lead herself. I know what to do. Now they're going to come along and give you all the wrong advice. All the wrong advice. And then you're going to take the advice. And you're going to fail every time because that's a projection from them onto you. This is what they wish they could do. They can't, or they know that's not going to work for you. They knew it was going to fail. That's why they told you to do it. And you'll do it, and then you'll feel bad about yourself. Oh, nothing ever works out for me. Not realizing it's not that nothing ever works out for you. This isn't going to work out for you because this is not for you. You're not supposed to be doing that. And then the person that told you all that shit, they're going to stand around laughing at you. They're going to go talk about you to other people. Say how you fail at every damn thing. Nothing ever works out for you. You're a loser. And then when they're in your face, they're going to say, oh, it's okay to work out. And then 2 minutes later, that'll be the same person that says, I don't know why you just don't do such and such. Well, you know what? Not everybody can do such and such. They knew it wasn't going to work to begin with. That's why they told you to do it. What you're not realizing is that person already feels bad about themselves. So, the loudest person in the room, a lot of times, is a big-ass fucking coward. The person in the room that's quiet, that's just acknowledging, observing, looking at things, that person right there is the person that'll be quicker to get up and jump and move and do what needs to be done. So that loud person, a lot of times, they're not going to tell you, but you threaten them. They see that there's a power in you. They see that there's a strength in you. You yourself haven't seen it, but they see it. So they got to make sure that they kill the source before you wake up one day and realize how powerful you are. Now, they look stupid. Now, not to you, but they feel stupid. you don't think they look stupid, but they feel stupid. And it can only be one winner here. So if they're going through life with the winner attitude, competition all the time, like it's not enough, food on the table for everyone to eat, only I can eat, then yes, this is what they're gonna do to you. And that is their survival mode. That's them being in survival mode. That's where they live at. And you're always gonna be in trouble with people like that. So do the healing work. Do your shadow work. I know it's hard. I know you don't want to feel. I know you feel like if I cry right now, if I scream right now, if I let my heart break, I'm never gonna get back up. I gotta go to work. I got kids to take care of. I have definitely felt like that, and sometimes I still feel like that. But once I calm down, I allow myself to just sit in that pain and cry and feel what I gotta feel, and then clarity comes. So just remember, I'm gonna end it on this note. Just remember though, the lie that we have been taught is if we're strong, how do I say this? Strength is to repress and suppress your feelings. Just get up and do. That's not strength, that's weakness. Weakness is to acknowledge and be emotional. Let your emotions show. And speak your feelings. Now that's weak. That's not weak, that's strength. It takes more strength to be honest and deal with your emotions and feel what you feel and speak about it and speak to the other person or persons than it does to be a coward and hold your feelings on the inside. And you may not be a coward intentionally, but that's what we're taught. And that starts with the silent generation. But we are not the silent generation. So that's your mama's mama. Matter of fact, that is your mama. So we have to step away from being the silent generation and actually start to let go of all them generational curses. Because that's how this shit gets passed down. And now we're crabs in a barrel. Now we're sitting here. I don't want to see my son move forward and be productive and be happy and successful because I wasn't successful in my life. Or if you get up and you move, oh my God, so you're leaving me? I'm not going to do that to my kid. Yeah, go move. Go live your life. He's not here to be my husband. And I can't control him, nor do I want to. I want my kids to, I'm here to guide. That's it. I'm here to give guidance to my children and make sure they're physically well, emotionally well, spiritually well, yes. Mentally well, yes. But I'm not here to control my children. That's not what I'm supposed to do. That's not me loving my kids. Me putting the fear of the world in my children is not love. Me holding my kids back in some kind of way is not love. Me sabotaging my kids to a point where they go out and create these bonds with people who are just, every person around them is manipulative and toxic. That is not love. So, yes, your parents, your siblings, your cousins, unfortunately, friends that you think people are like best friends, yes, they can have hidden agendas and be lying to you. And that's why I made this video. Making this video, because we swear that the person closest to us could never. Why would she be jealous of me? She has more money. Why would he be jealous of me? He's surrounded by all his family, and it's always just been me taking care of myself. Because it has nothing to do with your material. They are jealous and insecure, and it has nothing to do with your material. It's about Life happens. Those same people will make you feel bad because life has happened to you. But those same people have never even taken a risk. So they don't know if they would be able to, if they fell 20 times, 10 times, they don't know if they fell one time, if they could get back up. Because they always had people around them. So that's their insecurity. That's their jealousy. How you're able to smile through all the hardship that you have faced. How she's still smiling. I can't believe she's still smiling. Why does she look like that? Because that's who she is. She can persevere. Oh, I can't believe that, he has to do everything by himself. And he got to hustle. He found a way to have two jobs and pay for his car. And now, mind you, this person can have a whole big ass mansion and a butler, and they will still be jealous of you. And you're like, but that's not, he wouldn't be jealous of me. I'm hustling. I'm sitting up here working 2 jobs. And yeah, he is. You know why? Because his insecurity has nothing to do with what you have. His insecurity has to do with who you are. Because he couldn't do what you're doing right now. He gets up, he goes to his job, he sits behind his desk, he has all his accountants, he's the CEO. Why would he be jealous of me? Because it has nothing to do with your material. It's about who you are as a person, your integrity, your morals, your principles, what you stand for, your strength, your inner strength, your discipline. Whether that means you are just like you will get up and go to the gym, rain, sleet, or some fucking hell and, fire coming from the sky. That is what people are jealous of. Why she's so pretty? They're not really jealous because you're pretty. They're jealous because you might be pretty, and maybe you are not. The fact that you're not conceited, you don't let your looks, make you an ugly person on the inside. And if they are jealous of you because of your physical looks, aside from that, it also has to do with their projecting. Maybe somebody in their life told them they wasn't pretty. Or they didn't find that self-love for themselves. So it's easier for them to look at you and hate you and be mad at you. So, that's my message for today. So, this finds anybody, just take it in. And like I said, just be kind to yourself. Be humble. Be authentic and transparent. And you'll know. You won't have to do anything. Those people will leave. If you are continuously authentic and transparent, those people will definitely show their faces. You won't have to find out, oh, is it Jake? Is it Jessica? Is it Robert? Is it Cindy? I wonder which one of these people are. No. Just continue. Just be authentic and transparent. No is a sentence. No is everything. Okay? No is a whole conversation. No. Just be you, and you will see those people are going to drop off like flies, like dead flies. They're just going to fall off, and you're going to be like, oh wow, damn, Billy don't call me no more. Yeah, because Billy realized he can't control you. Billy sees that you stand firm in who you are, and you are not ashamed of who you are. Now Billy, on the other hand, he didn't learn yet. You will be happier when those people are gone. Even though you don't think you will, you will. I have had relationships that I've let go of, and when I was in them, I didn't think I could let them relationships go. And now that I'm here, I'm like, wow, I'm happier. I can breathe. And that is a great feeling. I can breathe. I was terrified of being my own leader, and now I was terrified of being my own leader in my own life. And now I feel, I feel so good. it feels good. Because there's nobody there telling me everything I do is wrong, I made a mistake, and then they can't wait to go run back and tell everybody about the mistake I made. I don't give a fuck. I'm my own leader in my own life now. Whatever expectations I don't meet are my expectations, not someone else's. Okay, guys. So that's it for me. I want y'all to enjoy your day and take care. Be happy. Remember what I said. Be authentic. Be yourself. And be transparent. Enjoy. Later.